hear it? They'll never forget me. Part of me will echo in their hearts.
A child who's relying on me to help her! How can I call myself a hero who saves everything? I want to live! Take me with you! Take me away from here!
Yo, what's good in the web? Your man Q back again. And today we have more than a few topics that we have to talk about, like Lupin the Third 50th year anniversary getting a tabletop game, Attack on Titan the final season, only 7 years in the making, finally with a release date, and my brother from another mother, Will Stevens, joins us again to talk about his video game and, more recently, his voice acting on Yusake, the animated series that dropped a few months ago on Netflix. So, by no further ado, let's jump in. But before we do that, if you're new to my channel and you like video games, anime, entertainment, and everything else in between, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This was my thumbs up. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm at the end of the video already. I'm tripping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all aforementioned topics. You can also find me over on Twitch. I'm not even gonna try to know. It's right here Monday, too. Wednesday, and Friday, and sometimes I get a little bonus stream in between. But enough of that. TMS Entertainment and the Magnetic Press announced on Monday that they are publishing a tabletop role-playing game on Lupin the Third franchise. The game will feature adventures and heists with an open-world quest system. Oh, a little D&D. The game will use a DS... Oh my, wow. That wasn't the most dyslexic moment. The game will use a D6MV, a magnetic press variant of the D6 West End game rule set. The companies will also release retrospect coffee table book and a 50th anniversary of the Lupin III anime. The book will also feature comprehensive looks at each episode, feature and season produced by TMS Entertainment, as well as the looks of the characters, media adaptations, and the artwork. There was no price here on the website that I seen, but you can double check. I got this from the Anime Network. If Lupin the Third is your jam, finally, Attack on Titan, the final season, Part 2 is here. Sometimes in late August, it was reported that Part 2 of Attack on Titan, the final season, is going to be here, and the way this year has been going, sooner than later. In January 2022 is going to be the release date, which is based upon, we already know who did it, how they did it, but what we want to know and make sure exactly when the date was. The good thing about it is we got a date. The bad thing about it is it ain't gonna be that many episodes. And what's even worse about it, at least for me, which I consider Attack on Titan to be one of the GOATs when it dropped. For me, they gotta do one hell of a thing to close this series off, because I was under the impression that Attack on Titan was gonna be around kind of like at least the Naruto time period, you know, at least a decade. It's been around a decade, but it only got 4 seasons and 50 episodes? But within those 50 episodes, it's jam-packed with some goodness. My suggestion to any new AOT fan or anybody who's thinking about jumping into the anime, wait until it's done. That's my suggestion. I feel that Attack on Titan is best served binged. I wish I would have waited. How's everything just in general with it? How's your excitement? I know I've been seeing the posts. I know I can see the radiance. I know you're excited about the project.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just one of those things that definitely did this in 2019. And yeah, I was looking at the emails. I kept the email.
Okay.
Auditioned for this back in So I guess it would have been May. Yeah, it was
Okay.
like I auditioned for us in May of 2019. I was doing a play, um, actually with this guy who's he's an Olympic used to box Olympic professionally
Okay.
from Africa. A guy named Tiger. I'm actually going to see him today just
Okay.
to drop off a gift and say hello. But yeah, and I got the audition, and my character that I played, Chosen, is from his neck of the woods in Africa. And I was like, well, let me see if I can just, I want to hear a little bit of his dialect.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said, hey, Tiger, man, I got this part I'm auditioning for. It's a voiceover. Would you mind just like read this part so I can just want to hear your flavor? And he read, and I was like, all right, cool. Thank you. And that helped. And, you know, so it's a little bit of him and the
Okay.
Trojan.
Okay.
And yeah, man, that was it. So I found out like June 20, I want to say June 20th. I was like almost a month later or so that I got the party offering it to me, and I was
Okay.
I was geeked, needless to say.
Okay. And that was last year. Well, that was last year.
That was 2019 audition for
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay.
So yeah, when we started doing this thing, it went you know, we when I did my scenes, I did those with the other characters and who were playing mercenaries, and you know, it was great. So we had the ensemble read there, and that was definitely a different process. And you know, I'm glad I had my little setup here in my apartment, but everything was pretty much done via self-tape recording here. You know, for those people that had home studios or at least a setup where they could record, it was a blessing, and that's what ended up working for me. You know, I even did some stuff on Mortal Kombat here at my apartment, some additional stuff when they released the DLC. But yeah, the majority of my work was done out of my apartment.
Okay.
You know, my little home rig set up, and but the stuff that I did for Yasuke was always in the studio.
Okay.
So, you know, that was to have that voice director and things like that, because there's certain sessions like, you know, I'm in an apartment. I necessarily can't control the noise all the time. So it's like I want to be interrupted on a
No, I
project like
understand.
that.
I just
So
before we
yeah,
set up
they
the
got
interview, I just had to put the dog out, make sure he was somewhere else because he start hearing the tone, or if it's a certain song, he starts howling like he a wolf. And I was like, you know what? I completely understand. He gets crazy, man. But I was curious because I know a lot of times I follow the anime Black Clover, and I know they would put the right above, right when it's on the opening, will let you know. It says, please forgive us, you know, it's 2020 and it's, you know, due to COVID-19 protocol, we are, you know, doing the English dub of the anime at home. And I didn't see that on Yasuke. So I was like, that's why I was curious, like, okay, so how did you guys do it? But no, I got you. 2019. All right, that's a long time to hold on to something, you know. That's a long time. That's kudos to you. Yes.
Yeah, when you're excited, he was even harder to hold on to, and it's like, man, I just want to see it. I can't wait to see it. For me, I was really enthusiastic because this is gonna take a little story. I'm gonna try to be real concise with it, but
you good.
I got to go all the way back to like 94, 95. And that's when I was auditioning for some summer stock in New York, you know, and I would go to New York, and they always had the little side shops. You walk down the street and they had, you know, a shop where you could go and get your imported games and things. That's when the big imports were big for like Genesis and, you know, Super NES, and, you know, I think Saturn was out there, and PlayStation. Yeah. So, I mean, those things were still popping. There was a shop I used to go to all the time, and you get your import games. You might even be able to get some kung fu and some anime tapes.
Okay.
And this particular time, I was walking by the window, and they had this video on, and it stopped me in my tracks. And like my eyes got big, and I remember just staring at the screen transfixed. And it was for Ninja Scroll.
Ooh,
and I was just like,
that's still a classic. Yes.
What is this? It was just the trailer, and I couldn't even hear any dialogue. I was just watching it through the window, man. And I remember like going in the shop. I was like, "Yo, dude, what is this, man?" He said, "It's Wind Ninja Chronicles." You know, they didn't have the official name because stuff come out of Japan, in the U.S. lost in translation. But I was just like, "Yo, man, I got to have this." He said, "Yeah, we all sold out of tapes right now." I'm like, "Dude, let me buy the tape out the window." He was like, "We can't do that." I was fiending, dude. He was like, "What time you open tomorrow, man?" He's like, "We're gonna have some more." Like, "What time you open tomorrow, man? I give you some down payment money." He was like, "Come back tomorrow." Lo and behold, I was there when they opened, got my tape, ran up to my boy's place, his apartment. I was staying with them for that summer, man. I said, "Yo, y'all gotta watch this, man."
Yeah.
Put this tape in. And everybody was like, "Oh, this is the bomb." People never even seen anime before, man. I rocked that tape all the way back to O State and had everybody on like 2 floors watching it. So
I believe it.
I was like the man for about 2 weeks. Everybody had to see the video. I'm in full circle when I found out about this. This to me was my ninja scroll. And lo and behold, the guy that did the character designs for Yasuke also worked with Madhouse, who worked on Ninja Scroll.
Okay.
So if I'm saying his name correctly, I'll try it. Takashi Quote.
Okay.
Yeah, Takashi.
You're doing a better pronunciation than I'll do, because a lot of names get me. I have to go and break them down into the syllables too. Before we was on there, I was like, let me go and look and put everybody's name on a break it down to the you know. That's how I get them sometimes. For me, in college is when I really started to get into anime too, because I used to just watch. If you remember Toonami, Toonami's how for like this the general populace, like in the 1990s, mid 1990s, is how they got us introduced to it. And it was Sailor Moon, what was it? Dragon Ball Z, and then it was the other. Why am I forgetting it? Ronin Warriors. Those were like the big ones at the time. And that's all I watched was until I went to college. I remember my roommate, Javi. I was sitting there talking about, I like anime. I'm watching anime. He goes, "Have you seen Akira?" I said, What's Akira? He goes, "Have you seen Ghost in the Shell?" I was like, "Ghost in the Shell?" He goes, "Have you seen Ninja Scroll?" I'm like, "What are those?" He goes, he literally, bro, turns his back to me. He's like, "I can't talk to you." He said, "You don't know nothing about anime." He said, "Until you watch it," he said, "Dragon Ball Z is not anime." And then he literally like, I felt like it was a Aladdin moment. He really like opened up the whole world to me. And then it's just like how you did to your friends. He just look here, and I watched Ninja Scroll, and I watched like my first semester there. I watched like that's why I started catching up on anime and Akira, and it was Metropolis. Just so many different animes I had no idea about. And ever since then, I've been thirsty. It's just been, I used to think it was gonna, like I was gonna pee out my system when I was younger with anime and video games and things, but that's never going nowhere. That's here to stay. And the more now that Black folks and other minorities are getting, into it too, new stories are coming up. That's why I really like Yasuke so much, and I wish it was longer. Is because of the fact that it's taking a story that was a pre-existing story of true facts with stories, and they just added onto it, and they didn't browbeat the slavery concept in it or the segregation concept. We knew that Achoji and we knew that Yasuke were both Black, and they alluded to it. They talked about it, but it wasn't an over emphasis of, oh, look at this, it was within the story constraints, and I enjoy that part about it.
He's Black.
We can see that.
I thought you were the only Black man in Japan.
Apparently not.
Are you two related?
Shut up, scrap metal.
He's kind of cute for an old man.
Your attraction to him is illogical.
To see them interacting in that whole universe, So yeah, it was definitely something. I was like, here's a story that you've been hearing about. And I remember when Afro Samurai came out and he was getting like hints like, wow, this is kind of based loosely based off an actual person. I'm like, really? Okay. And I started, hearing whispers of this Black Samurai who actually existed, Yasuke. And at that time, that's when I was jacking his I was calling him Yasuki. And, everybody else was like, if you don't know the correct pronunciation, you jack it up. But yeah, man. And lo and behold, this came down the pipeline. So I was like, oh, they're about to do it, And then everything just started coming together.
I think I mentioned this to you before, but I'm gonna just story time it a little bit again. I kind of feel like because I know LaShawn Thomas from the creator from the MySpace days. So we go back 10, 11 years and we had held conversations about some creative stuff and everything. But I talked to him in like 5 or 6 years. It's way before he started Cannon Busters. I remember like during the MySpace time, he had Cannon Busters, like the logo and everything out. So when he finally hit it to Netflix, I was like, oh, one of us made it. That's where he's been at. That's why I haven't heard from him in a long time. And when I was doing my Instagram purge last year, cleaning it up, I was like, I accidentally deleted him. Because it's like, who is this? Because he hadn't been on it. I was just getting rid of people. And then I went back and I was like, that was LaShawn Thomas. And I feel just like Terrence Howard from what he did against Ludacris on was it Hustle and Flow? Remember how he was like, oh, I know him, even though I actually have held a conversation, conversation with him. But it's just from you and to see him do it, that's what really pumped me up, because it's like it feels so close to home, because it's like it feels accessible. That's the word I'm really looking for. The world needs to hear stories like this where it's not the tried and true American stereotypical Black story. It actually shows different elements of the character development within, like, especially Yasuke. It really showed different elements of his character. For me, the Black anime moment that was equivalent to what was it, Blue Sea with LL Cool J. Do you remember that movie with LL Cool J and Samuel L. Jackson? He was sitting there giving this epic speech, and then the shark came and ate him, and then LL was the last person left. I was not expecting Sam Jack to get ate like that. At least he made it further than he did in Jurassic Park, at least, because they did him dirty.
I'm wondering what his idea to actually get eaten, because I mean, it definitely put the movie on a whole new level. It's like
it did.
They took out Sam.
Yeah,
they took out Sam. Everybody's fair game.
Yeah, that's why
anybody can do it.
His eyes got extra, but the whole movie. After that, he was on red alert. My favorite part in the whole series was when Yasuke tells you, he's like, when you didn't kill him.
Thanks for hesitating to kill me.
And this is a spoiler alert for those of y'all who haven't seen. So hopefully y'all don't watch it. It's only 6 episodes, 30 minutes apiece. Watch it. Please watch it. It's good.
You don't die right there. You gotta.
I mean, it's really, if you can watch the Snyder Cut, which I still haven't watched the Snyder Cut because that's 4 hours. You can knock out Yasuke. Really, that's a bus ride, really, going somewhere. You've tackled animation now. You've already done video games. Is there any other part or character that you wanted to, that's on your bucket list to do?
Man, I feel I'm just getting started on the animation thing again. Because it's like I've been waiting. It's just little parts here. I worked on some smaller supporting roles on Spies in Disguise. So that was my first big animated feature. But yeah, it's like, hey, at this point, I'm just getting started because I enjoy it. Somebody just grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, man. It was just like, finally, and I get to bring that little kid into the ass in front of the mic and just go at it and have some fun. I worked on a 2D video game that I can talk about because they got me featured on their site. for a
Okay.
company called Short Sleeves. I believe that's correct. It's a project called Voodoo Detective. They
Okay.
have they got a page on Twitter, but
Okay.
it's a cool kind of throwback 2D video game mystery. Kind of like old crime noir, and I'm playing the lead in that. I'm playing Voodoo Detective, and
Okay.
this is by a guy that used to work majorly with LucasArts, Devar O'Farrell. Hope I'm saying
Okay.
his name correctly. But he did a game back in the day called Curse from Monkey Island. Curse of Monkey Island? Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds familiar.
So
It sounds familiar. Okay.
yeah, it was a big title. I just saw this in a retro video game shop. It's like $89 or something like that.
Mm.
Old PC. I don't even know if it was CD-ROM yet, man.
Oh, okay.
No, it had to be CD-ROM. They have a type of voice acting they had on there, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
So working on that, and then another project which I can't talk about is NDA.
Look, I
So
understand.
looking
I
forward to
understand.
more.
I completely understand. That's why when I seen you on
Yeah.
Yasuke, I was like, that's what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about.
That was
Okay.
big
Oh,
story.
I do want to say this. Since the last time we talked, I have done 2 or 3 things differently. I end up getting a mic. I end up getting a better mic because we talked about that if I wanted to talk with voice acting and doing things. And then even though my time restraint, I end up picking up the book you suggested. So I end up getting this on Amazon. So I haven't gotten too far into it, but it is on my list. So I have been reading this a little bit, and then I've been getting into I'm not sure if you're familiar with Black Sands Comics or if you've seen that around. I've been really
I saw the post.
Huh?
Yeah, I checked it out on YouTube, and I actually subscribed to their page recently too. So
yeah, I've gotten their book, The Seven Kingdoms, and it's good. It's good. I end up becoming a Patreon and everything with them. And when soon as he said he's opening his stock and stuff open at the end of the month, because of the fact that he's become the BSP has become the biggest, black owned company or industry or indie comics in the world. And that's a big deal. When I seen he had 30-40 like titles just of creators, and then he was opening up opportunities for voice acting, and he's opened up for animation, and I just love that. Just love those opportunities and just the viewpoint, because for me reading Black Sands, well, I'm not going to spoil it too much because his animation is going to be coming out too. I think he said next year, end of this year, next year. But it's kind of like watching the black version of Naruto, but in Egypt. And I always look at it as seeing Black Sands and Yasuke. It makes me feel like, what would my mindset be now if I grew up watching that or seeing like Princess Tiana as a Disney princess.
exactly. Yeah, and that was exactly how I felt when I got on this project and I started seeing how it was developing. And that's one thing I mentioned to LaShawn. I was like, man, dude, this is big. This is on kind of like a Black Panther level, but it's an animation. But it's like if I was a little kid and I was sitting down, I was able to actually see this. I realized, like, man, somebody was repping us in Japan. It immediately tied something in. It's like, man, I would want to go even more so now, because like we were there and we was doing big things with samurai. Before that, you never really seen this before. You've maybe seen that old movie Shogun with Richard Chamberlain. It's like as close as you got for being a samurai. But nah, this is for real. So I was like, man, I just put this on a whole level. So it's like, you see this Yasuke breakthrough and open some doors. And now these other stories can come in behind it because you say, yeah, there's an audience here for it. And people are now, it's a hunger there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've just been waiting for it to happen.
It's so much. It's
so many possibilities.
So many untold stories that aren't just the maid and slave and narrative, which I feel that also has to do a lot with the interpretation of how people react to Black folks in America, to be very honest, because some people see things and then that's what they just gravitate to. They believe it. Oh, that's all how all people are, and to be able to have different people, like how am I wording it? I always wanted people to see, which Yasuke has done, the same thing with the Black Sands has done. Tiana did, good writing with Black characters is you're not looking at the character as they're Black. You're looking at the character for a character. Like when I pick up like Deku, and I love my dude Deku from My Hero Academia. I don't view him. I mean, I know, he was created by someone from Japan, but I look at him as a character, not of what his skin color is. I look at the struggle that he has and his obstacles and how he overcomes things versus just the color of who he is. Now, of course, the devil's advocate of that is I just sit there and talked about what the representation was when I was a kid, but you get a chance to see someone that looks like you. When you don't have anybody that looks like you, you're like, okay, you notice it even more. Like, okay, I don't have nobody, but I want to be, and I love the way the media has been going with that. Is you see the character is Black, but you see the different dimensions to them, and it humanizes a person, the character, which it should, because no matter what race or creed or color someone is, we're all human at the end of the day. It's just, I like to see that representation.
You want to see humanity.
Yes.
You see the humanity in every character, and then you can relate to them. It's like, the color, it just dissipates. It's like you're seeing the human being. So that's key.
That's true. But I'm not gonna hold you, Will. I appreciate you, as always, stopping through, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Yeah.
Or any closing remarks?
Hey, for anybody watching that hasn't seen it, check it out and see it for the first time. And for those of you who have tuned in, definitely just keep positive vibes out there. We made it into the top 10. I believe we made it into the top 10 in 48 different countries. So season 2 possibility, just stay in tune and definitely, man. Yeah, and check out Fly Low's soundtrack, man. The soundtrack for Yasuke is just bumping. I mean, I put it on that level. It's like if you take it out of the show, it's like taking John Williams out of Star Wars or any of the other stuff. It's pulsing through the course of that whole show, from the opening theme song all the way through it, man.
The ending is great as well. Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
all right, sir. I appreciate you. I will get back at you later. And if any other projects, anything else come through, please, let me know. I love to have you back again, as always. Hopefully, by next year, everything will be even more leveled out, or we can collab at a con or something. Even though I'm vaccinated, I'm still trying to be as cautious as possible, just for everybody else too.
I got you. Definitely. And the Yasuke action figures, they're on at Target. They're doing pre-orders at Target right now. So
okay.
Yeah, bro.
I'm definitely on there. I already know you got a pre-order. I already know you got a pre-order. You were just talking about that, and you got you.
First time to get an action figure.
We're not worthy. All right, bro. I'll holler at you later.
But interweb, thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you do have any comments, questions, concerns, please put them in the comment section below. And as always, interweb, remember to eat, sleep, geek, repeat. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.